really opening up for them.
And there's also mid Pango, which is a bit different than what we see from the offlane Pango. Even though I like to play offlane Pango, it does feel the hero is lacking. He's also lacking itemization from the offlane. When Amar played it, this is the itemization that I really like with the Echo Saber going into S and Y, but it is a bit on the slower side. It scales well, but the problem is you're not contributing much. You need to fit in the Blink Dagger and the Shard. Sometimes you'll see offlane Pango going for the Diffusal Blade as well. It really depends. Like sometimes, heal. Because never mind. I'm just jumping to a conclusion. Nothing to say he's going to be playing mid Pango, so he does have Thunderbolt Facet, which is much better compared to offlane Pangos who are going for the double jump.
Right. Both teams smoked up, looking to see if they could grab any bounty runes. And it will be 3 for the side of Tidebound. They come out ahead in terms of the bounties. That feels pretty good for them. We'll see how these lanes end up progressing, but Shira already taking some harassment here from Mira. Need a dead shot and a couple of right clicks on and on. Toronto.
Why
Tokyo,
Why does Tiny have 900 HP and 350 mana pool with
he's
magic
a rock.
1 and 3 Ironwood branches? Like, how do you kill this here? Like, what is Faceless Void position 4 with the Time Walk gonna do to Tiny? So this lane, Tiny, as we said, gonna have a complete free farm in the lane.
That's what I'm saying. You know, Time Walk with Blood Grenade is not exactly the strongest of combos. But Planet, he's going to pull the creep wave or attempt to. Panto will chase him and try to make sure that he doesn't get that, but it's not going to happen. They'll bring it all the way over and they'll try to control up this lane as best they can. If it's not going to be aggressive, then they're just going to keep it in terms of farming. We've seen good speeds on an Ags for Beastmaster. What was it? Yesterday we saw like an 11-minute Ags.
This time around, I think you go for a different item build. You're playing against Ancient Apparition. You want to hit slightly earlier timing. So I think in this game, he goes for the Helm build. Because he also chose Wild Hunt as his facet. So that...
He's got that Wild Hunt. We'll have... Do you go full Helm of the Overlord or just Helm of the Dom just to start?
He might go, because you're playing against Ancient Apparition and Muerta. These two heroes are very bad against dealing with summons. And as we expected, there's going to be a lot of lane shenanigans, a lot of pooling that they need to do, especially in the bottom lane for Aurora. Mid lane, Pango.
Not having as much fun.
Yeah, he's giving him the treatment.
Yeah, nothing to say he's been on the back end of this twice now in a row, if this is going to be the way it continues. Last game against Team Liquid was not fun for him. Didn't exactly have a game when they were down about 28-3. We'll see how it ends up being, though, if he can pull the lane back even in the slightest, because you talked about it. If Kiyotaka kind of finds himself with a good lane and gets off the starting line pretty quickly, moves around a bit, this could be a pretty good game for Aurora out of the gates. And they'll try to go with this Blood Grenade and the Dual Breath to get the damage out on Amira, but a good dead shot pushes back Shiro. So all is well down bot, at least for that, but that will allow Innocence to focus on the Lotus Pool and grab that.
They can contest this. And you can also see that Mira did go for Boots of Speed as his first item, so he wants to pull, run away from Jakiro. They really don't want to play the lane, try to contest or anything. Mid lane, Pango is catching up, but still Kiyotaka, Kiyodaddy is very, very good at laning.
And doing a really good job here with the Ember, already at 20-3. Happy with what he's gotten so far. We got a quick pause. Mouse as in mouse for the computer, or mouse as in a mouse just ran across?
Gee, I don't know. It's very hard to tell.
You know, it's quickly gone. I don't know. Could you really tell me that it wasn't an actual mouse?
They need pest control.
Yeah.
At their boot camp. 2 boars killed by Nightfall. It's a good
Easy
amount of
gold.
XP. And gold, 50 plus gold for 2 of them. Look at Tiny, he has 1200 HP. She just brought belt. This hero doesn't die.
So you're saying, and I'm going to quote you on this, that this hero doesn't die for the entire time. And hold that thought. Time walk over. Kiyotaka.
There's your favorite.
Yeah. Was that just time walk in Blood Grenade?
It was Blood Grenade, yeah. Didn't even need to do it. Nothing to say. Was ready to grab that kill solo.
I was not expecting that. I guess it does work. But now he's got level 2, so he's got time dilation. He didn't use it there. That might make this lane a little bit easier. Maybe they're able to go for Panto. And he walks right over at Panto. Bot's actually already low with the avalanche coming through. But Panto just eating some right clicks. There is no time lock on this Faceless Void, so no bash to be worried about.
I think if they brought 5 heroes to top lane right now before Pango's level 6, they wouldn't be able to kill Tiny. If he just avalanches and runs away, he'd be fine.
Top lane, Planet a little far away from the wave. And they're going to try and get a kill here on a Bach, and we'll grab him out just a bit too far. So they get that kill on a Bach. It ends up being traded. He'll get a kill on a Panto. And a little bit of trade there, but you know that Tiny is not going to die.
Oh, yeah, double Blood Grenade now delivered on Faceless Void.
That's the combo. That's what I'm saying.
This is your damage item. He's trying to make a move to the mid lane and maybe grab a kill one more time before Kiyotaka hits level 6.
That would be pretty big. They can slow down Kiyotaka. I mean, somehow nothing to say now. Top the net worth by a significant margin over Kiyotaka after that kill. I mean, that lane was looking miserable for nothing to say as it was going on. So it's a little bit of a surprise that they were able to make this happen, but Innocent's in a little bit of an odd spot.
Oh, look at Kiyotaka's
Dead
XP.
shot lands. Kiyotaka very close to level
CS.
6. But gets hit up onto the high ground by this Rolling Thunder, and nothing to say is actually going to focus his attention on Amira and get a kill on the Muerta instead.
Nothing to say. Having a really, really good game. He is sitting at 2-0. Great start for Pango.
This has left Toronto Tokyo bottom alone, and even Call Down committed to this. But with it not really landing, Shiro won't commit to anything, and Mira TP's in, deterring maybe that chase as well. Maybe making him a bit scared of going in, getting hit by the dead shot under the tower. You could die pretty easily. They're going to look to contest this shrine. Toronto Tokyo back towards full health.
They need a sentry.
They'll
They
see
drop
that
it
it's
immediately.
just Gyro, and they'll drop the sentry. They've got the Ice Path. Dead shot, though, not really on the mark. So Toronto Tokyo taking a lot of damage. He'll fall to Shiro, and there's not much Mira can do.
We're seeing this move more and more, especially when you have a carry that is providing you with a good amount of damage early on. So nice plays from Shiro. We did talk about him and his stats, how he played at Wallachia, one of the more active carries overall, and one of the guy that dies the least on the carry role. So I think he has a pretty good read on the situation, what's going to happen. So great start for him, sitting at 4,000. Tiny's keeping up. It is Tiny that is having a blast of a lane. Problem is they need to recover. Toronto Tokyo right now, you can see that Mira has been on the stacking duty. Stacking 5 camps, and now Toronto Tokyo getting closer to level 6. I think you epicenter the ancient camp once you get it.
Yeah, we saw that a couple times yesterday. Planet. Time walking off all that damage, and Kiyotaka now level 7. Gyro taking over top of the net worth. Like you said, Tiny having a very open lane. 1,700 health just about. I'll continue your trend of asking, how do you kill this guy? So early on.
It's the easy answer. You don't.
Mira hits a dead shot. Ice Path not going to matter when they're able to get control, but here comes Shiro. Looking for the damage despite the calling. They'll end up trading. Toronto Tokyo coming over, though. And that'll help Kiyotaka get this kill. I think they used that epicenter and they didn't even really need it. But now Panto, even under his own tier 2 tower, is not safe enough. They'll get the kill there. Nothing to say gets credit for that one. Nightfall comes over, but there's not much he can do to stop this Pangolier. Remnant forward, looking for Planet. TP in forward from Nothing to Say. And Kiyotaka forced back, trying to see if he can get a Faceless Void.
A lot of action happening in terms of trade. I think Aurora got a little bit more out of it in terms of gold. But Beastmaster, he does have Helm finished. That's going to be a good amount of pressure onto the tower. Nightfall is also TPing to the mid lane. He tried to help out, but didn't get the kill.
Ooh, this TP. They're going to see it. Immediately throw down the Ice Path.
Kiyotaka's here.
Kiyotaka's here. Planet comes over. They've also got Mira. They get the kill to Panto. They'll end up trading Bach and Y for it, though. Mira getting credit for the double kill. Yikes. Not what they want. And a little bit slow to the mark, though, is Nothing to Say. And Shiro, who will come over and try and get this kill on a Nightfall.
Haha. Laughs in Tiny. Or maybe Tiny laugh would be ha.
Just one ha.
Yeah. Like he has 2,000 HP with some extra magic resistance. What's his magic resist right now? Sitting at 29%, sitting at 8% status resistance on top of that. This guy's impossible to kill.
Can you give me a real Tiny laugh? Oh, a nice Tiny impression? I mean, we've practiced our Tiny voice lines together. I know you can do a Tiny voice line.
Yeah, I'm really bad. If you ask me, even for my favorite heroes, what are the voice lines? I can't really tell. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I'm old.
No, still youthful, especially with your Tiny laughs in Tiny. Looking towards mid. Kiyotaka won't be able to find Innocence. They've also got Panto here, who is just about to be level 6. Not the quickest level 6, and by just about, I mean he still has a half level. He needs to find some experience, because they want that Ice Blast. That being said, Kiyotaka, not a lot of mana to work with. Here comes Planet. Pops that Illusion Rune, so if some bottle sits ready to go. But won't be committing to anything, even though he's got Miro off to the side.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Toronto Tokyo, he's getting closer to his Blink Dagger. He's been in the triangle for a really long time. Still the lowest net worth core, but about to finish it off. Needs another 200 gold. Considering the lane that he was playing into, not too bad.
Take that ward away, and Shiro bottom. He's got the Falcon Blade Chrysalis. We talked about how Shiro likes to get involved. I mean, this would be the point for him to do it. Already has that damage ready to go. But he could also just sit back, get that Ags, wait to really feel like he's comfortable with his output to get anything from it.
An interesting build coming out from Pango. This is something that was popular on Pango when Mage Slayer did last for 6 seconds. Now it lasts 3 seconds, but also I talked about the importance on having magic resistance against Aurora's lineup, because they do have an insane amount of magic damage. So going into Mage Slayer, I don't mind it too much, but also I feel you kind of need the Fusel Blade from the mid Pango. There was also a game yesterday when Quinn played it. He had a pretty horrible start on Queen of Pain, and he bought Mage Slayer as well. So definitely a valuable item in a certain situation.
Let's see how they progress up to it if they want. Now they've got level 6 here for Panto. They are moving with this smoke. We'll see who they find. It could be Planet. Could be Nothing. I mean, not exactly getting vision on anything.
What do you say could be
Planet.
Nothing? Do you mean nothing to say, or not find a single hero?
not find a single hero.
Okay. Just making sure, because I see that Nothing to Say is behind tier 1 tower, so he's pretty safe.
He is pretty safe. They do move over through the Twin Gate towards the top lane mode. There's nobody nearby. Bach is still just off in the jungle. Not really showing himself all too much, and that has left Nightfall to do whatever he wants in these lanes. See, if he sets up, they might dive all the way down here to maybe get a look at Bach. Like I said, all you need is Burrow Strike Ice Blast, and you should be able to get the kill. They start the epicenter to get Burrow Strike. There's the Ice Blast coming through. Bach is dead, and they make it look oh so easy. And this is on the 14-minute mark, so they're trying to steal this shrine. TP out from Toronto. Tokyo's not going to be there with the Rolling Thunder coming through for nothing to say. Shiro gets the trade. They'll have themselves that shrine, and Mira going to TP out.
Muerta doesn't take physical damage.
No.
They don't have instant stun if there's no Beastmaster. Jakiro was far away, so he's going to use this opportunity and TP out. Not the best trade for them. I mean, it's offlaner for offlaner, but you're getting some levels. We haven't seen Time Zone yet.
No, we haven't. We haven't seen that or Aurora. Yeah. So no Time Zone, and they haven't used Aurora yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is
But
under
Kiyotaka walking down bottom. 5 heroes in the neighborhood. Furthest back is the Sand King. Surprisingly enough, I will say I'm kind of shocked at the lack of towers taken by Aurora. First shard, Ancient Apparition, of course, right?
It's coming. Yep, just the way it is.
No, it's
Oh,
not
never
the way
mind.
it is.
They got the shitty one. Oh God.
Oh,
This is this is basically Batrider when he was one of the strongest position 4s. When you got the shard, you're like, oh man, I wish I didn't even got this one. Remember, there was a game. Which hero it was? It was. Let me just double check that real quick. It was Saxa who played it, and the shard was so bad. Yeah, Marcy before her shard got good. He actually destroyed the shard because it was so bad. And back to the game. They are going to go for Roche. Use this opportunity, seeing that Aurora did go for Tormentor. So they will take Roche for themselves, and they will give it to Shiro.
yeah, they get that Roche, and they're happy to pick up the Aegis, and we can pick up a follow if you guys follow the official Fissure channels with !F in the chat. Follow us on all Fissure socials to get more behind-the-scenes action, and follow us as our tournaments continue on throughout the year. Epicenter charged up and fainted for a moment. Remember when you couldn't do that?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I'm old school enough. If you commit it, like if you click that button, you're going in, and the rest of the team better back you up.
Once you commit to it, though, it could have just been creeps as well. You accidentally press that button, you got to use it on something. Nightfall. 2,300 health.
With Agitreads. That's like 2.5. And he also bought Yasha, so heavily focusing on farming. Having Windlace, having Yasha moving between the camps, does have Shard of his own. Wants to have statuses. A lot of the time you will see Tiny's picking up second item Shadow Blade, so they can be more active and try to like go for these like solo pickoffs, or maybe pair up with +1, providing vision for the team. This time around, he is playing into good amount of stuns, especially against Beastmaster, so he wants to be as survivable as possible and have that status assistance.
Burrow Strike. Help them find Innocence. There's not much Shiro can do. Does have this Aegis, does have this Ags, but kind of waiting for a more opportunistic fight. Finally, after not taking towers for so long, Aurora have taken bottom, and they have taken mid. Life is good. At least for the moment. Bach has that Helm of the Overlord, continuing to farm, wants to get that pipe, crafts himself the quickened Iron Talon.
We said that they might pick an offlaner that builds into pipe. He didn't rush it by any means, but they also haven't been team fighting a lot. So having Helm of the Overlord as his first item and then going back for pipe feels really nice. Most of the damage, as we said, is going to be magical. Sure, there's some physical from Ember Spirit, and nothing to say. He did commit with the Mage Slayer. So We'll make him tankier and then going into Aghanim Scepter. So that's a cool idea. Something that I tried to make work in some of the games. It did look good.
Time zone as well. That's at least a kill on a Panto. Ice Blast was thrown out, lands onto Bach. We do have Shiro coming over, so this should be 2, and Mira will eventually die here. 1 to Bach, 1 to Shiro, and now 10-8 in favor of Team Tidebound, but they're still down 2,000 net worth. Slowly but surely closing in.
Aurora on Aurora. They just got 2 kills from that. But to go back to my point about the Mage Slayer with the Aghanim Scepter build, it makes sense because when you roll in, you use Shield Crash, Swashbuckles go in different directions, and then if you can hit multiple people with the Mage Slayer. So that's the beauty of it.
Still have this Aegis. They did make a play there top, but there hasn't been like this full 5-man commitment yet that I thought maybe we'd see with this Aegis. Nightfall still just farming up. He's top of the net worth. Shiro we've seen continually just getting his farm, and he sits towards the top as well. There's actually a smoke used here by Aurora looking to find an opening. As long as it's not Shiro, they'd be pretty happy with that, but Shiro means that that's just the Aegis.
He's dead once.
Ice Blast used, and they'll get that first life out, but now everybody's here, and nobody can react just yet. They've got the silence. They go to the Primal Roar. The Rolling Thunder. Can they save Shiro? He's low. He'll fall. The Gyro is dead. The Rolling Thunder with the Macro Pyre down. Burrows strike out. The end of that Rolling Thunder lands on 2 heroes. They get the kill on Toronto Tokyo. They lose Innocence. Panto's fallen. 2 heroes dead, with the buyback being committed by Planet, so they've gotten 3 on Aurora, but the Sleight of Fist from Kiyotaka, he's low. Doesn't have a lot of mana to work with. These axes flying around. He'll fall to Bach. Mira in trouble. Planet in his face. Time dilation used. We'll try to TP out. Bash. Anything? He's not going to stay with the shield crash.
Oh, this fight, it looked pretty good. They killed Gyrocopter immediately, but Pipe got delivered mid-team fight. And I think Nightfall, he needs to be soaking up some of the damage. I think if we could look at the damage that he received in the previous fight, basically nothing. You have that status resistance with Insurmountable and SNY. Your status resistance right now is 30%. So you need to get in and soak up some of the damage for the team.
A little surprising, I would say, with the fact that they were able to kill the Gyro twice. Well, maybe that would work out a little bit better for them, and ends up being a bit short of what they wanted.
This Pipe plus Mage Slayer on Pango is going to do a lot of work. If they can... Because Pipe got delivered mid-fight, and you see that he was rolling into the backlines. This was also pre-Aghanim Scepter on Pango, so it's going to be much easier for him to get that damage reduction in the next fight, unless they can burst him from 100 to 0.
Looking to take out this Ancient Creep. 250 gold there for Nightfall. BKB, I believe, in full is flying out for the Sand King. I think he's already got that Ogre Axe. And then, is that all of the Aghanim Scepter there for Pangolier? I believe it is.
Some big items coming out on both sides. Double BKB finished for Nightfall and Toronto Tokyo. Kiyotaka just finished off his Shiva's Guard. And as you said, Aghanim Scepter completed on Pango, Force Staff on Beastmaster. So he wants to force people out of the trouble. Not the conventional item build on the Beastmaster by any means, but could give them a lot of value.
I'm waiting to see if, after yesterday, maybe Y queues up the Ags. Saw how strong that was. Especially with Rolling Thunder when you keep these heroes inside the Macro Pyre for so long. They're smoked up, and smoke will break. Nice path on it. 2 Shiros here. Toronto Tokyo coming over. Ice Blast. That should mean that Innocence is dead. Panto's going to fall and end up being a trade, but they've got the Primal Roar to get the kill on a Toronto Tokyo. Rolling Thunder about to end. There's the time zone down. They'll look over at Nightfall, who will pop the BKB. He'll stand his ground for now, but how long does he want to stay around? Kiyotaka doesn't have a lot of mana remaining on him. Swashbuckle, Remnant going the other way, trying to survive, get away from the side of Team Tidebound. He's got some help from Mira if they do try to chase up out of the high ground, but they won't. They'll give up on their aggression on this Ember.
They need tanking. If they want to be winning a team fight, they need damage coming out from tanking. They need multiple of those stuns. Nightfall and Kiyotaka, they still want to chase. Not the easiest kill to get anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty sloppy fights from Aurora. It was a nice ice pad coming out from Jakiro. Landed on 2 of them, then Sanking blinks in, catches him off guard even through the BKB. They do have more than enough damage to bring him down.
My question is, can they finally kill Nightfall with his 3,700 health?
Dire's top tower is
Answer still so far, no. I don't even think they've gotten him close to dying yet.
Because he was not soaking up any of the damage. I also think he needs to go for different targets. Now we are seeing these BKBs, Beastmasters, very difficult to kill.
Roar on Mira. Time dilation, ice path, macro pyre, all committed to get this kill onto the Muerta. Easy kill and a little bit of a net worth lead here currently for Tidebound. But Kiyotaka, ice path, that'll connect. Homing missiles flying over and just use that remnant to avoid it. They go to the call down, going to be off the mark, throwing it to the left, but I'm not sure it's going to matter.
Kiyotaka doing?
He's just dead. Yeah, he didn't have an escape remnant or anything.
He didn't have remnant. He just went in and YOLO'd. He's like, yeah, I'll pray for the best. Let's see what's going to happen. But he got heavily punished. There's still a tier 2 tower available for them. And now they can turn that into Tormentor.
I was not expecting that.
I don't think his teammates also expected that one, but it is what it is.
They're going to try and take this Tormentor. Why? Oh boy.
Kill him. Yeah. Hey, they stopped.
Damn. That was kind of mean.
If this was a pub game, others would not stop attacking it. They're like, well, it's your fault. You should have done the math better. But the good thing about Kiyotaka being dead is that his remnants, the cooldown is still ticking. So now that he respawned, he does have 2 fire remnants.
Don't forget.
Gotta find something positive.
Is up. Yeah, I mean, I like that you see the beauty in things that go wrong. It's nice. Roche is up, and they have Rolling Thunder and Roar. However, nothing to say is over bottom. They'll TP back, though. Give them a chance to go for this Roche. Can Nightfall soak the damage? Can they win a fight here down 4,000 net worth? Toronto, Tokyo.
bottom tower is under attack.
So, oh, guys, if you could see him, then you knew that smoke wasn't going to work, right, guys? BKB, that comes through, but the time zone is down. The Macropyre laid out. They'll get the kill on Toronto, Tokyo to start this off. They'll pierce the veil. They've got the Primal Roar. It's on a Nightfall. They've got to chip through this mountain of a man in Tiny. They've got the Ice Blast. Outland's done nothing to say, but he's not taking a lot of damage. The Sleight of Fist, no Searing Chains to follow it up, so there is no Cold Feet to overcome this Pangolier. But they'll find Mira again. They'll get that kill. 2 heroes gone on the side of Aurora as they'll look to take Roche.
What the hell is going on, guys? But Aurora, first of all, Kiyotaka dives bottom. It allows them to get Tormentor. Then Toronto Tokyo hides. But they see him, so he's not technically hidden. And then they initiate on him, take the fight. They lose the fight, and now it gives them Roche. So very weird decision-making from Aurora in the last couple of minutes.
They knew Toronto Tokyo was there. They saw him a couple times, and they're like,
they saw him
all right,
twice.
Smoke. And then their smoke immediately got broken. I don't know if they were making sure it wasn't an illusion.
They show him pumping the epicenter. You cannot do that with the illusion.
They still popped the smoke. I was trying to see the good things in bad plays, man. I'm trying to do what you did.
I respect that, but let's see if they can find something in the bottom lane. They're trying to make a move.
Planet.
But again, no Blink Dagger, no Shadow Blade. Ancient Apparition also doesn't have a shard, so even if that ulti connects, they will still not be able to get the kill. And Speaking of no blink initiation, Nightfall immediately picks up a blink dagger for himself.
Let me just grab that, make sure I can get in. I'm tired of walking forward, not being able to do anything with it. Team Tidebound looking good, though. They've got this Aegis again. Didn't do too much with the first Aegis, but maybe the second one leads to a little bit more in terms of a push, because, I mean, for this point in the game, I feel like there's a lot of towers up.
Still tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
Dire's bottom tower.
They have good vision. Aurora did place 3 observer. They have 4 obs on the map right now, 29 minutes in, which is not something that you see compared to Team Tidebound, who only has one observer ward, and that's about it.
Let me see.
2. There's the one in the bottom part of the map. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of sentries. Trying to take out a lot of that vision. Surprisingly, with all that sentry coverage, they still have, like you said, 4 obs up for Aurora, but 2 of them are pretty defensive on the back end of the river. 2 of them pretty aggressive, though.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you're doing math with me, double checking if I'm correct, because we're not talking about percentages. If we're talking about numbers lower than 5, you're gonna do your thing, say like, you know, let me double check that, or if I'm wrong. But if we're talking about percentages, this is where it gets complicated, Benjamin.
You sound like my math teacher. And I stopped going to school so I didn't have to hear stuff like this.
No, I can tell that you stopped going to school.
Come on! I thought you said you were done making fun of me.
Well, you set it up for yourself. I just had to say it. Back to the game.
Smoke used here by the side of Team Tidebound. They still have 2.5 minutes left on this Aegis. They're going to look over, but maybe they'll cross paths with Aurora, who are walking that way. Oop, Remnant. Goes across them, and Bach, Force Staff, Primal Roar. They'll find themselves the Ancient Apparition, but immediately pierce the veil from Mira to back away. Nothing to say trying to take a tier 2 tower. They'll glyph that up. Nothing to say will stay by, and he's got some help.
Beastmaster
That's 1,
buying
2, 3 heroes.
all auras. He does have Helm. What is he holding on to? Ancient Prowler. He has one of the boys as his neutral creeps, and just finished off AC plus the pipe, so everybody's going to be super tanky. Problem is with this build, you don't have much mana. You need some kind of a mana sustain, and as I say that, not going to say we'll use bottle charges on him.
They're going up on the high ground. They still have this Aegis for a little while. Over a minute left with the Aegis. We'll see if they want to try and make a move here, though. Avalanche toss with that blink. Burrow strike. Shiro's in really deep. This could be an issue. They do have Ice Blast if they want to set it up. But do they have the lockdown? Ice Blast thrown out. BKB's going to be popped. I'm going to say Rolling Thunder in. Shiro backing away, but that Ice Blast, they've got the time zone. Primal Roar is used. Using the Rocket Barrage as well as the Flat Cannon maybe to push back Aurora. They've got Panto low. The Remnant back and nothing to say. He'll escape, but they just lose the Aegis for now. Lotus Orb on Toronto, Tokyo looking to make another initiation, but can't find anything.
Nice execution. Nightfall picking up Blink Dagger as his last item. So we'll turn that into Swift Blink, but they definitely got the value out of it. Stop the push from going in, and also that's tossed back into tier 4 towers without losing a single hero. So Aurora still managing to fight back.
They're still fighting back, and they get the Aegis there. I mean, that shows, especially with that Blink Dagger that Nightfall waited for so long on, you know, maybe that you could have grabbed that earlier. Might have felt a little bit better for you.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A little surprising that they waited so long for the blink, right?
Not necessarily. This is carry tiny we're talking about, so you don't want to get an early blink. You are valuing other items. You want to get SNY,
Right.
Echo Saber, but yeah, maybe like you want to pick up the shard, so it's definitely not coming in at like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. At 30, 35, you can definitely pick it up.
Penta falling to the side of Team Tidebound, and they will catch up with Mira, who will be forced to pierce the veil. But looking dead anyway? No. TP's right out in front of 4 heroes. Glimmer, too strong. Wow. I did not expect Mira to be able to escape from that one. I will say maybe not just the blink, but also like you were talking about, surprisingly no Shadow Blade either for Nightfall.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprising one. I think BKB, especially because BKB SNY, usually not the combo that you want to go for, considering that you're playing into BKB piercing abilities. So kind of overlapping. Shadow Blade is the big question mark for me, because they definitely do have good pickoff potential.
Smoke going to be used by Aurora. Let's see if they can find anything. Because they are starting to fall behind by a significant margin. There's no Aegis on anybody here, of course, because they grabbed it in that last defense. So they know they can pop these heroes with Ice Blast at any time. You really are able to take out anybody, but they need to line it up. Looking for the Swift Blink on Nightfall, by the way. A little ways out of that. Blink Dagger for Ancient Apparition is a bit of a surprise.
He wants to be able to jump in, lock onto a target, and kill it. No, he wants to follow up Sanking and follow up Tiny. Also, Gyrocopter, his natural item progression is he wants to buy Satanic, but you're playing into Ancient Apparition, so he needed to find a different itemization for himself. So it does have Butterfly, does have Revenant's Brooch. And we'll see what the next item for him is going to be. You could still pick up Satanic, but you're not getting the full value. If you're getting hit by Ice Blast, and most of the time, this is going to be the target that you want to instantly kill, especially at the mid and late game fight. So we'll see if he still opts to go for it. Because a lot of the times, if they miss, they have multiple Force Staffs, they can definitely disengage and get the value out of Satanic.
We'll definitely see if he wants to pick it up. Right? It's a tough decision, especially if you see Panto get that Blink Dagger, right? Because then you're going to know that you're always getting hit by Ice Blast.
Yeah,
maybe
you're going to be the target.
Yeah. Tormentor next on the list here for Team Tidebound. Trying to just find something to do while I assume they wait for this next Roche take. I'm a little surprised. I will say he goes to this Blink Dagger. I would have liked to see a shard on this Ancient Apparition.
Decent amount of stun follow-up.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It feels a little bit better, right? Just have that little bit of extra cold feet. Catch somebody in a little bit too deep, especially if you're going to the Blink Dagger.
Gotta have that copium. Instead of buying the shard, you gotta believe that you can take the Tormentor and get it for free.
You still got that tank over there, Jesus.
Yeah, I do. They deliver every week.
They deliver a new tank of copium every week.
Swift Blink, about to be finished on Tiny. Does have amplified damage as well. Definitely gonna be packing the punch. He just needs to get in and get the damage. If we're looking at his score, he was 2-0-2 for the last 15-20 minutes on Tiny.
Yeah, he was 1-0-0 for a while.
They did get 2 kills, which doesn't count. One in tier 4s when he tossed back Gyrocopter, and that kill on Gyrocopter in their own triangle. But that was 2 times with Aegis, so...
So technically 4-0-2.
Nah, doesn't count.
Oh.
Bach, gonna be the first point of contact, it seems.
With Roche being up, this could be a big fight. There's the Burrow Strike to go to the Ice Blast. They should be able to find themselves Bach. The Rolling Thunder comes in with the BKB being popped here by Toronto Tokyo. But they get Bach pretty far away. They pop that pipe. The Rolling Thunder stops Nightfall from continuing to go in.
Or Staff, Glimmer.
Panto dead to start, but they'll find themselves nothing to say. He's dead with the damage coming out from Nightfall. They want to reinitiate on this. Time dilation. Mira ripped apart by Shiro. Now all of a sudden, maybe Aurora don't feel so confident with what looked to be a victory with the kill and nothing to say.
Bach is so tanky. With Pipe, with BKB, Ogre Seal Totem, and the Force Staff, he can maneuver inside of teamfight. And they're doing the full wraparound. They want to find the angle.
Yeah, with the smoke, they're going to find Kiyotaka. They'll put the homing miss on him. They'll drop down the time zone. Look for the call down the ice path, ready to go. They've got the primal roar. Kiyotaka in trouble. He's dead. They take out Y, but Nightfall, can they finally chip him down? Yes, they can. Looking like the creators of Mount Rushmore, they ripped through that rock so well.
Time zone didn't connect on... It only connected on one hero.
Toronto, Tokyo.
Trying to set things up with the Yule Scepter.
Not much going on there.
And it should be Roche for them. Panto doesn't have ulti for another good 30 seconds, so this Roche should be in the hands of Shiro. Scotty now completed on him, and he also has Aghanim's Blessing in his quick buy. But there's going to be a lot of slow. Tiny at least has slow resistance coming out from SNY, coming out from Insurmountable, so it's not going to affect him as much as it does affect other heroes. But once you go in, you're going to have a real hard time getting out of the fight, because he can easily stick onto you, and this is Gyrocopter level 24. Getting closer to 6 slotted. I mean, he technically is. He did eat the Aghanim Scepter. But, yeah, also items on other heroes. They're getting more and more farmed, and things are getting more difficult for Aurora. I don't think they have the clear entry to the fight where they have like, oh, we can lock onto one hero and kill it.
Doesn't seem that way. I mean, they couldn't even kill Bach there. Bach, his item progression was what? Helm of the Overlord, BKB, or Helm of the Overlord, Pipe, BKB, 4-staff, AC. And now he's going into what looks to be Guardian moves. But he's holding a lot of gold right now. See if he makes that decision to buy out. 15,000 net worth lead, though, for the side of Team Tidebound. Y has saved up 1,500 gold. If he wants to save up 3,000 more, he can get himself an Ags. I keep calling for it. But he's got the Glimmer Cape. He went to the 4-staff. He also picked up the Aether Lens.
Wants to keep the distance.
A little extra bit of cast distance, which is good, considering the reach that Aurora tried to have.
Let's see if they can execute. If they can get that Ancient Apparition ulti, maybe toss back. But you can see that they're using all the summons on top of him so that he can't get the clear toss.
Avalanche, Ice Path coming through. Nightfall forced to use that BKB. Ice Blast is flying in. That is going to fly over Shiro. It won't do the impact damage, but Shiro does the damage to get the kill there onto Mira. Time zone down, and Shiro, he's got this Aegis. He might shatter, but at this point, I don't know if it's even going to matter. Sleight of Fist here and change the Ice Blast. It's going to wear off. Kiyotaka still trying to take this Aegis out, but they're going to kill on Nightfall. He doesn't have buyback. All of a sudden, you are without this Tiny, and you've got the second life available on Shiro. They're really diving deep into your base. Kiyotaka with the BKB. It's not going to matter. He is dead as well. No buyback. Shiro is godlike. Gleipnir locking down Mira. They've got the dust. They have the Ice Path. They have the control. Another kill there. GG is called, and it will be game 1 going to Team Tidebound.
A little surprised that they